The national champion is clad in big orange. The pitch. Swing and a miss! That's the ball game! The national champion is clad in big orange.
At Summit and Destiny have met 7 times before. Tonight is number 8.
Tennessee Volunteers have wrapped up an SEC outright regular season title. Connect with
the SEC runs through Rocky Top. Tennessee wins the SEC regular season crown for the 2nd consecutive season.
the 1-0. Indiana, left center field. Cross on the move. Walk it there. Tennessee walks it off. It's a mismatch. Deep three. Come on now. And don't connect. Probably Rakin this time. Indeed. New hand jam. Down the middle. Got it. The fly is high and again. And he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Hey, how much fun is this?
Man, Rocky Top, this is college football at its absolute best.
This is college athletics at its absolute best. Welcome in. It is 8 o'clock Eastern on a Thursday night, which means we are live once again on the Fanatics Show. I'm your boy, Skylar and Michael. How are we doing after, I can't really call it a victory Thursday, but it ain't all bad. Michael, how are we feeling?
We're honestly coming out of that. We're feeling better than I expected, especially with it being a loss. But, we'll get right into our thoughts, our feelings, and everything on that. But it's a beautiful Thursday, a little bit warmer than I would like for the middle of September. Like for it to start cooling off, get a little bit more of that fall weather coming in. I mean, you got to have that football weather, man. But, we're right in the thick of high school football, really jumping into about to start heavy into conference play in college football. Got pro football as well, but we don't talk about that here. But family's doing great as well, so couldn't ask for any better. How about you, my man?
Right on. Yeah, man. Same. I mean, it's been great. Work's been good. Personal life's been great. Got to watch the game on a boat last weekend, so I'll kind of tell you guys a little bit about that in a recap. But overall, man, couldn't ask for much better. And we're here talking ball, and I tell you what, we are blessed to do so each and every week. And right on. Before we get started, I want to let you guys know who our presenting sponsor is real quick, and that is Chris Smith Insurance. As a homeowner, Chris Smith was once let down by an insurance company. So he started his own agency where instead of feeling like a big company is fighting against you, you'll know that your agent is fighting for you. All insurance is not equal. Trust Chris Smith Insurance today in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Give him a call at 865-272-3387. Again, guys, he's not just going to find you the cheapest rate. A lot of insurance carriers that are brokers can kind of do that. But what he's going to do, he's going to find you the best rate with the best coverage so that if you do have that moment and you do have to file a claim, you don't necessarily have to worry about if it's going to be covered or not. You have the peace of mind knowing that you're taken care of because Chris is never going to put you in a position where you don't have that peace of mind. We appreciate you, Chris, and thank you so much for the continued support. All right, dude. Give us the rundown. I mean, what are we talking about this week?
All right, so this week we are going to obviously talk about the Tennessee and Georgia game. We're going to give a little recap on it, give our thoughts on the game itself, our thoughts on Tennessee moving forward as a program this season, and even into the future a little bit if you want to. A little bit of a futuristic look on Tennessee's, how we think they're going to do on the season, how we think they're going to look going forward, different things like that. Segment 2, we're going to give a brief overlook of UAB, kind of talk about what we want to see in the game. And then as a slight bonus topic to that segment, did receive word today, or I saw the news come out today that next Tuesday, the SEC is officially going to announce the 3 permanent opponents for each SEC team. So
we already know who ours is.
I was going to say, we'll talk about that and see who we think ours is going to be and all that good stuff. Segment 3, it is the world famous pick segment, or at least, our famous pick segment, whatever you want to call it. But we are giving our week 4 picks. We'll have upset pick of the week as well. And then We're bringing Rakin with Jake back for another week, but 2 and 3, he's kind of on probation right now. So we'll have to talk about that and have him do a little bit better with these picks. But let's get right into the show today, and I will give you our segment one sponsor, which is Optimal Asbestos Services. Optimal Asbestos Services offers detailed asbestos inspections and air quality assessments. Whether you're looking to secure your home or workplace, you can trust Optimal Asbestos Services to deliver thorough and reliable solutions. You can contact Jeff Mull at 865-223-3297 for your consultation today, or go on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. So, Georgia ends up getting the best of Tennessee, 44-41. But before we talk about the game, let's start with a positive. How was the tailgate on the boat?
Oh,
that
dude.
your company had, man?
Come on, man. Yeah, our business put on our annual partner appreciation tailgate, or sailgate, as we like to say, because we went to the Vol Navy houseboat. Got to go in WBIR on Friday morning before the game. Got a little like 2-minute segment there. Got to talk about it. I had to be there at 4:30 in the morning on Friday to do that interview, but it was all good. It was very fun. But the event itself, man, couldn't ask for a better turnout. I think we had probably over 100 people on the boat throughout the day. My family cooked some great glizzies, as we like to call them, but big old fat hot dogs. Had like a little hot dog bar, and we named it, Eat the Dogs. I thought it played out perfect. But it was really fun day. A lot of drinks were had, good and bad drinks, and tell you what, it was almost capped with about the best ending you could ever ask for. But our Vols had different plans at the end of the game. But we were about to jump in the river, man. I mean, me, my brother, I think we had like three people on the boat that were friends, but also business partners that done took off their shirt. They were ready to jump in with us if we made that kick. But no, it was great. And I definitely look forward to doing it again. I think we are going to do it again. So.
Yeah, good deal. It's that right there is one of those things that makes me wish I was in Knoxville. Get to join you for things like that. Really just do tailgating. Period. Get to go to a few more Tennessee games.
And I'll be honest with you on that point though. I don't even go to the games anymore. I mean, I will go to a game, but like we go to game day just to like watch the game there, because there's something about like on the boat, and I guess this is a detail that nobody really thinks about because you've never lived it, you've never been there, and I understand that, but like there's something about watching the game and being like a whole play behind, but you see the fireworks go up from the stadium and you scored, and then you get to watch the play happen like, I don't know, 10 seconds later. You get to celebrate twice. It's so good. And it's really fun. But yes, you definitely have to make the trip up here, and I'll take you, man. We'll have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into talking about this game.
Let's do it.
So obviously Georgia gets the better of Tennessee in overtime, 44-41. But the place where most casual viewers would say the game was won and lost was that field goal at the end of regulation that Max Gilbert missed. But nobody's really talking about that, because what the conversation around this game is? It's the fact that Tennessee might be for real. They might be for real this year, because they took Georgia all the way down to the wire. Arguably should have won the game. I mean, Kirby Smart in his post-game presser said, honestly, Tennessee probably deserved to win, but we found a way. And that's what good teams do. Honestly, that's what great teams do. Georgia is a great team, and they found a way to win the ball game. So credit to Georgia for that. But I think I've got to agree with what Kirby Smart said. I think Tennessee, the way that they played this game and how for a good portion of the game, they honestly outplayed Georgia. Now, there was also many parts where Georgia outplayed Tennessee, but Tennessee controlled this game for at least a good portion of it. What are your thoughts?
I mean, yes and no. First off, I just want to say what a game this was.
Absolutely.
The last I don't know, 7 games with Georgia has been double-digit blowouts. I mean, it's been pretty ugly in this series. The last betterment of a decade now. I mean, 9 in a row, but these games have been non-competitive with Georgia. And I just got to give a shout out to the team. I mean, this was all you could really ask for, especially going into the season with so many unknowns on the offense. Is like, okay, what kind of game is this going to be? And it ended up being one that you could have won about 3 or 4 different times in the final 3 minutes of this game. You had the game won. You just had to put the nail in the coffin, and that's something that this team will learn from because they could not get it done.
And most of our viewers hit the nail on the head as far as, the spread. Like, we had so many predictions last week of either Georgia winning by 3 or Tennessee winning by 3. My prediction was Tennessee winning by 3. Now, where most of us were wrong, we thought this was going to be, we thought it was going to be a low scoring defensive battle. And for parts of the game, it was. But in the first quarter and the fourth quarter, especially, it was up and down the field.
It was.
So, just a fantastic game. But sorry to cut you off, but, continue with your point.
No, you're good. Overall, my game, again, great game. Tennessee, there's things I'm going to point out that are great. First and foremost, Joey Aguilar. We're going to start with him. He's the leader of our offense. I think he proved a lot of doubters wrong. Even in the loss, I think he proved a lot of people wrong over the offseason when, so many people cast doubt on Tennessee because, losing Nico, and I get it, that's your starting guy. And getting a guy like Joey Aguilar that was kind of like a second thought kind of guy. Like, he was going to UCLA from Appalachian State. Like, what would he really bring to the table? And all those doubts are gone. Tennessee's offense is fine. I think you've seen, though, Joey Aguilar against Georgia's defense. You've seen more of this playbook in one game than I think you ever seen last year with Nico at the helm. Just complete trust between Heupel and Joey, and I love to see it. I'm tired of beating around the bush. I love our running backs room. I think Star Thomas is your best guy. He's your 1A. Yep. I think Deshaun Bishop is a 1B. And Peyton Lewis, God bless his soul, I think he's a great guy, but I think he is your 2. And I really want to see it a little bit more often. Star Thomas getting the ball in open space. Now, this game didn't play to that style. I understand that each game kind of plays into a style. And this was one that Joey was feeling it, and you let Joey kind of take over, and that's exactly how this game played off. But the star of the show to me is Chris Brazzell. 6 receptions, 177 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dare I say, Jalen Hyatt-esque game out of Chris Brazzell. But you're talking about a guy that we were talking about last year, how highly touted he was coming out of Tulane, and you just never really got to see that talent last year. It just kind of seemed like it wasn't there. It wasn't clicking. Well, I think we figured out why. He didn't have a guy that was getting him the ball. Joey Aguilar is literally throwing it up to this guy, and Chris Brazzell's coming down with it. This ain't 50-50 ball. It's like 90-10 ball. Chris Brazzell. And he's proven to you why he's such a star. And we were talking about 1,000-yard receivers. This guy's on track. This guy's on track. He's averaging over 100 yards a game right now.
He has already topped his stats in 3 games for the entire season last year.
Yeah. Dude's already got 5 tutties in 3 games, 364 yards. He's averaging 18 on the north side of 18 yards per reception, by the way. And a guy that's right there with them. Look, our wide receiver room's good. We got to keep them healthy, but I love what I'm seeing out of. Who would have thought Mike Matthews would be your number 3 guy? 3 games in the season.
Yeah, exactly.
Braylon Staley
Chris
is showing
Brazzell right
out.
now, Braylon Staley, and then Mike Matthews. And I don't think it's because of talent or anything like that. It's just the way that the dice is kind of fell there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hype around Mike Matthews coming into this season.
I still think he's
guy.
one of the better talents.
I agree.
I just think right now he's in a position to not shine as much as the other 2 guys. I think because he's off on his own a lot. He's not playing that slot position right now.
Yes, so, and I'm glad that you brought that up because I feel like that's part of the reason. So you've got Braylon Staley is playing that slot position, which in Josh Heupel's offense is always going to have a lot of targets just because the way that the offense is run. And then Chris Brazzell is an experienced guy, and he is a, dare I say, first-round talent in the NFL draft. It's not just me saying it. It's several different people saying he's creeping up on draft boards, first, second-round type projections. And he's shown that even against some good corners, I'm not going to call Georgia's corners great because they've definitely fallen off since that 22 team. But he has shown that against one of the top-tier defenses in the SEC, which means one of the top-tier defenses in college football, he can beat anybody in the country. And it's not just beating them off the line of scrimmage. It's you get down there, all you got to do is put the ball up and give him a chance. So I'm going to flip it over to Joey Aguilar for a second. There was a couple of people that I saw on social media say, Well, we don't have Overthrow Joe anymore. We don't have Nico that can't hit the broad side of a barn. But we've got Joey who's just underthrowing his guys. And I completely and totally disagree with that. Is he maybe slightly underthrowing? Yes.
He's
But
underthrowing. I will say he is underthrowing.
But he's giving his guys a chance to make a play.
Well, he's underthrowing, but it's deep down the field to where, and you've seen one of them. It was basically an arm punt, right? But like, and most of the ones he's underthrowing, most of them are complete one-on-one balls, and it almost puts the defender at a disadvantage because he's running full speed to catch up about where he got burnt. So now all of a sudden he's having to come to a complete stop to adjust to that ball that he's not looking at. He's looking at his man because he's got man coverage, where that's where the wide receiver is able to, like, it happened in this game where Chris Brazzell, I think it was the very first or second touchdown that he had. I think it was the first touchdown he had that was down the field. And I mean, the defender, I mean, it was embarrassing. Like, I don't know if he like jumped into him, fell, whatever, but Chris Brazzell fought through it, caught the ball, and basically could walk in the end zone. But that's where that underthrow comes in, and it actually helped our wide receiver and the fence in the sense of the defender just couldn't adjust to that. I will say this: I would rather it be underthrown by 5 yards than to be overthrown by 10.
Yes, because once again, to my point, you're letting your wide receiver go out there and try to make a play.
And secondly, you're playing for that PI.
Yes, you're playing for the PI.
Now, we didn't get a lot in this game, and in that game, that play that I'm talking to, that was a pass interference, but we declined it. Obviously, we scored the touchdown. But no, I mean, overall, I don't know how anybody could hate on Joey Aguilar's game. I think, one, the way he's playing, two, his why behind it, the story that he has, and the way you genuinely can tell how humble he is and how appreciative he is to even be in this position. This is what college football is all about. Yeah. And his family, the way they've embraced it and being here, there's nothing more beautiful than this story, this kid. And the post-game interview, he's even saying like, hey, look, like, I know I got a good story, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to put my team in the best position to go win. That's the guy that I want on my team. Like 100%, without a doubt. It's not about him, and he knows that. But it is cool to see a guy that truly appreciates the position that he's in and to go out here and lead this team to try to go win this game. And in my opinion, all right, I know the scoreboard doesn't reflect it. And John, it is a great score for you, big dog, but I can pull up receipts where you thought we wouldn't even have a chance in this game if we really want to dig that up. But I think at the end of the day, we got our guy. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say, kind of like you sort of implied, like, hey, Tennessee may be back or maybe for real because they played Georgia this tight. Look, I'm still skeptical on Georgia. I don't know if they're the best team in the league. And I said that before this game, which is why I thought we had a great chance to beat them. We didn't beat them. Georgia and Gunnar Stockton ended up proving us wrong in a lot of things. Like, Gunnar Stockton threw the ball down the field very well, very effective, very accurate. But Tennessee's going to have to show me, Josh Heupel's still going to have to prove to me that they can do something that they haven't done. And they've still yet to do that this year. I do think that I'm more confident going to Alabama. I'm way more confident going to Florida in the way that's planned out. But I'm telling you, I think one of the most important games on the schedule is Oklahoma. And that's something we'll definitely talk about down the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do have an apology to make, or not an apology, but something that I was just totally wrong on.
All right.
The defense. And they're not bad. I'm not gonna sit here and like bash them, but man, I had some high expectations for this defense, and boy, have we missed. Now we still got to Gunnar Stockton. I love the defensive line. And I can sit here and make excuses about, well, the secondary is kind of banged up. No. Like, I still expected this defense to be really, really good. And there was just, I mean, dude, the drive chart. Oh my goodness. What was it? There was, let me go back. I had it pulled up. There was 2 drives that just absolutely were gut wrenching in this game. And it was the second quarter. To end the half for Georgia, they had a 14-play, 88 yards, plus 6 minutes. It was 6 minutes and 15 seconds, I think, for a field goal. So, I mean, you got to credit our defense for getting a stop. Now, on that drive alone, there was 2 pass interferences that extended that drive, and I was hot. I was so mad. But there was that drive, and then the very next drive that Georgia had was the opening third quarter drive where they went 14 plays again, 75 yards, a touchdown on a drive that went nearly 8 minutes long. You talking about sucking the life out of our offense in those 2 drives alone? it was hard to watch because Georgia, man, you talking about asserting your will. Georgia was doing that. I'm pretty sure on the 14-play touchdown drive, there might have only been one passing play. I can't remember, maybe two. But I know like majority of the plays were just straight running down our throat, and they were winning. They were winning in the line, and they pushed. And our defense, for the most part, was bending, not breaking. But in this situation, in the very end of the game situation, they broke, and it was the difference in the game.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But with a team like Georgia, if it ever goes to overtime like that, especially the way the game went, I'm going to give advantage to the experience. Especially, like you mentioned, the way that they asserted their will on those two drives in particular. But I want to look at the offense for a second because we can sit here and talk about the defense. I feel like the defense played decent overall. Obviously, they didn't play great. There was a lot of times where they, like you mentioned, they bent, but they didn't break.
Well, I
They
mean,
did give up a couple
to
of times.
give them credit after the interception that Joey threw on the short side of the field, I'm pretty sure we held Georgia. It wasn't a 3-and-out. I think it was like one play and then a 3-and-out. Basically, I think it was 4 plays. They kicked a field goal, which is exactly what. I mean, that's a win. Now, in a game that tight, when they can get a turnover on plus territory, I think they were like at our 30 or something like that. Like they were prime position, and our defense gets a big stop and they kick a field goal. Defense did a really good job for a lot of the game. There was a handful of plays that I'm telling you were not good.
Yeah, I want to look at the offense for a second because so until I actually looked at the stats and everything, I was really harping on the offensive play calling for a while. But now I've kind of chimed in a little bit, but I still want to look at this. So first quarter stats, you had 11 rushing yards on 8 attempts. And it's not because Georgia was just stuffing you. Now, Georgia's defense was playing pretty good at that point, but the passing game was there. I mean, Joey Aguilar in the first quarter, let's not overlook this. 14 of 14
Over
in the
200
first
yards.
quarter, 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's not to be remiss there. 213 yards. It was 224 total. I mean, that's incredible. No quarterback in the last 20 years has started their SEC debut a perfect 14 of 14 like that
Against Georgia. Like it's not like this is Vanderbilt in a winless season. Vanderbilt, like this is Georgia, man.
Exactly.
What a start.
So the 11 rush yards there concerns me, but that 213 passing yards, obviously that makes up for it. 21 points in the first quarter, mind you. All right, let's go to quarter number 2. This is where it starts to concern me. You have a total of 35 yards in the second quarter compared to 147 for Georgia. You ran the ball 6 times for 19 yards, which is good for 3.2 yards a carry. You average that out. You get 3 yards a carry on every single down. You're not even getting the 4th down. So you pass the ball. You were 2 of 7 passing. Joey Aguilar kind of cooled off a little bit in the second quarter. You also threw an interception there. That's the one that I blame him on. Was that one that he threw up in a double coverage to Mike Matthews and it got picked off towards the end of the half. I would have loved to have seen you run the ball a little bit more there. Running the ball is where you make your living in this offense. So you ran a total of 13 plays compared to Georgia had 24 plays in the second quarter. And that's not including penalties in the second quarter. Now let's move over to the third quarter. You were a little bit better passing the ball in the third quarter, but you were 3 of 6 for 75 yards passing with a touchdown and an interception. Now this was just unfortunate. Braylon Staley slipped coming out of his break and it just went right to the defender. Yep. That unfortunate there, but you ran the ball 6 times for 22 yards. Once again, averaging 3.7 yards a carry.
That's all you need. 4 yards a carry.
But you only ran the ball 6 times for 22 yards. And you get to the fourth quarter, and this is where your offense started clicking again. And I feel like if you had started doing this towards the second and third quarter, your offense wouldn't have stalled out the way that it did in the middle part of that game. You had 139 total yards. You rushed 13 times for 72 yards, which is good for 5.5 yards a carry. That's fantastic, especially against a Georgia defense. You were 5 of 7 for 67 yards and a touchdown. So you actually ran for more yards in that fourth quarter than you did passing the ball in the fourth quarter. We need more of the kind of what am I trying to say? The balance on offense, running the ball and passing the ball. Running the ball sets up your passing. Now, in the first quarter, Joey Aguilar was just on a different level. And, he could not be stopped. Completely understand why the game plan was the way it was. But when you get to that second quarter, you get to that third quarter, your offense starts to stall some. Go with what you're good at, which is running the ball to set up passing the ball. That's what I had a problem with. And once you look at the total stats, it's not quite as different as what I thought going into it. Is you passed the ball, you had 36 passing attempts in the ball game, and you had 34 rushing attempts. So it's pretty balanced play calling there. But once again, whenever you break it down and look at the numbers there, most of those rushes came in the fourth quarter. You need that more throughout the game.
What if I told you that Tennessee actually averaged more yards per rush than Georgia did?
That would not surprise me at all.
Very close, as Tennessee averaged 3.7 yards per rush. Georgia, with 55 rushing attempts, only averaged 3.6 yards per rush. The difference in the game, too, is Georgia's long drives. Their plays. I mean, look, they had 55 rushing attempts to our 34. And Gunnar Stockton only had 32 passing attempts to our 36. I mean, they had, what is that, 86, 87? Basically, 87 plays on offense is what it's looking like. And we only had 60, 70, maybe 70. So, I mean, they ran almost 15, 20 plays more than we did on offense. But I think end of the game, you've seen us get back to our roots. And I think it was so key because even with all the adversity that happened, and it's a tie ball game with like 2 minutes, 3 minutes left to go in that ball game, and you got to drive down the field to get a field goal, and we executed it. We did it so perfect. I mean, first down after first down after first down, and you were just driving, and we even got well past field goal range, and I'm like, this is perfect. Josh Heupel's not stopping. You get as far as you can, and then you have the field goal as a reserve, but you go try to score, and I think we changed somewhere along that line. It was like we got past field goal range maybe by 10 yards or so, and then you could almost just immediately see it's like, okay, we went uber conservative. We're trying to bleed the clock, and at that point, playing for the field goal rather than just having it in the pocket and trying to go score. I think that costs us. There's a couple of things that I think cost us. One, I'm really upset. As great of a coach as he is, I am absolutely doubting it because I doubted it the moment it happened. You can say hindsight 2020, I don't care, but I called this. You can ask anybody on the boat that was with me. The moment we give up the 4th and 6 touchdown, which is, by the way, that's brutal, but that's a really good play by Gunnar Stockton. Yeah. And the like that. It was. I'm gonna say it's luck, but I mean they drew it up. They got their matchup that they wanted, and man, they executed. It was perfect.
And it was good defense as well. Ty Redmond had been picked on all game long.
I can sit there and say he got pushed off, but it doesn't matter. Like it was just a good play. Like
I mean, Gunnar Stockton put that ball in the perfect spot where only his guy could get it. It was just picture perfect execution by Georgia. Just unfortunate for Tennessee.
After that play, Josh Heupel's got 3 timeouts. It's a 2-point conversion in which if you stop them, your timeouts don't matter. You won the game. Call a timeout. Let them line up. See what formation they're going to get in. And call your timeout. Josh Heupel not calling a timeout after we've lost all momentum, I think was huge in that ballgame. And now I am very upset on why he didn't call a timeout for the 2-point conversion. That I think was really big. And then late of the game, obviously, we made the drive all the way down to go get that field goal. Obviously, we had a false start on a 3rd down with 7 seconds left. Run another play. I don't care. I don't care that there's a possibility that you lose more yards. The kid can kick a 60-yard field goal. I don't care. The leg, the distance has nothing to do with him missing that kick. Yeah. What had to do with missing that kick is what kicker kicks a field goal on 3rd down? None. It sped up his process. We did like the opposite of icing our own kicker, basically, at that point, because we're having to substitute mid-play clock instead of just calling another time. You had 2 timeouts. At the very least, call another timeout after the false start. Call a timeout. Let everybody settle back down after we just had a negative play. and then have your kicker in the right mindset rather than just rushing him out there on the field, kicking a field goal off schedule, which I think is honestly why he pushed it. I don't know why on those two instances. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if it's necessarily the kicking it on third down thing. It was the fact that they had a plan, and after that false start, it was almost like a brief moment of panic. Not just for Max Gilbert. Everyone talks about the look in his eyes when the camera.
No, the kid looks scared shitless all the time. I ain't worried about that.
Yeah, exactly. But it was the fact that it was almost like Tennessee hit the panic button at that point. Like, oh, we got the false start here. We don't want to risk getting another one. Let's just go ahead and send them on the field.
Why was there urgency? Why was there urgency?
Yeah, exactly. Because you mentioned it. There was 7 seconds left. You still had 2 timeouts in your pockets. So why not just
why are we rushing the field goal team out there? Just call a timeout, dude.
Call a timeout, settle everyone down, let him go through his normal progressions there. Because at this point, Georgia's out of timeouts. They cannot ice him at this point. This is on you making sure that he is ready. So I do agree with you on that. Obviously, hindsight is 20/20, but I'm not blaming Max Gilbert for that at all.
No, I'm not blaming Max. No. I'm simply blaming Josh Heupel in the sense of you can't take your timeouts home. It makes no sense. Why not call them on the most important plays of the game? Both of those plays in those instances literally win you the game. Call a timeout. What's it going to hurt? I don't understand. I just the 2-point conversion, it bothered me because I'm like, dude, if you make this stop, the game's over. Why not call a timeout after they get in formation and at least talk about it? It had to have been the most known thing ever that they were going to set up a pick move for that out route all day long on Colton Hood. Yeah. No shot that wasn't going to be the play call. And I don't know. I just felt like we didn't have the game plan for that. And I can blame Tim Banks on that. I don't care. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. That's the part of where I know that at this point, we had the Jimmies and Joes. I'm going to give Dad credit, talking to Dad about the game actually tonight. And he's like, look, I got something that I believe strongly and that I'll always believe, that the first half is all about the guys. It's Jimmies and Joes, X's and O's. It's your players against our players. But the second half is about the coaches. Who makes the adjustments? Yep. Who coaches the better game plan after those adjustments and goes and wins that game? And Kirby Smart proved to be the better coach. And I don't think that's a surprise. I think everybody knows he's the better coach. But I think Josh Heupel has the team. I think he has the talent. The gap is so small at this point. But Heupel's going to have to learn from these mistakes.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's where I wanted to transition to, was how we feel about this team moving forward. And the way I feel is exactly what you said. If any of you follow us on Facebook or on Twitter, I recommend that you go and you find the article that was shared, I believe it was Wednesday, on Facebook. It's on our website, volfanatics.com. Go and check it out. How we feel about the game against Georgia. Obviously, you never want to take any positives away from a loss, because there is no positives whenever a loss comes out. But the way that we feel is the gap is shrinking.
I think there's a big positive in
Tennessee.
This loss,
I mean, I agree.
You scored 40 on Georgia.
But there's no
38 in regulation.
Yeah. But obviously there's no moral victories. And
no, there's not. But we're talking about a team that in the last 6 years hasn't been able to score more than 17 on Georgia.
Yeah. So
I mean,
the gap is shrinking. It's very small at this point. There still is a slight gap between Tennessee and Georgia, which means there is a gap between Tennessee and some of the top names in college football. I still think there's a gap between Tennessee and Ohio State. We saw that last year. I do think that gap is smaller now. But between Tennessee and Ohio State, there's a gap. I'll even say, as far as the team itself goes, excluding the quarterback, there's a gap between Tennessee and Texas right now. The very top teams in the country, there's still a slight gap, but that gap is minuscule. Let me just tell you, it is shrinking day by day. And I'm going to go ahead and give a little nugget of one of the headers in that article that I absolutely love that I put in is the sleeping giant is awakening, dude.
Well, I think it's awakening, and I think in the film room, I think the team is starting to believe. I know the team believes it all the time anyways, but there's no doubt in my mind on Sunday when this team's watching the film and realizing, my goodness, that play alone, we win this game. Or this play alone, we win. There was probably 9 to 10 plays where everybody as a team could see if one thing happens different in that play, This game is ours. And now that they have the belief that they could go out there and go do it, watch out. I think this team could be dangerous.
I was going to say, there's not counting Georgia, because Georgia has really handled Tennessee over the last, several years. But against some other teams in Josh Heupel's era, have we not seen, if this, and this would have happened in this game, then we would have won the game. But against Georgia, it was, if this thing would have happened, we win the game. Or if this thing would have happened, you win the game. It's, one thing, maybe two things. It's not, we just needed these 5 or 6 things to happen and we would have won the game. No, it's separate instances of, if this one thing would have happened, Tennessee wins the game.
Yeah. Still got to get by our second quarter woes. I don't know what's going on with that. Got to fix it. Got to correct it. At least it's not a first half anymore. Like, at least we're getting back out to our quick starts like we're used to. But our second quarter is being so disappointing. We got to correct that. But overall, man, the team played their hearts out. At best, all we could really ask for, really. I mean, obviously we could have won, should have won, could have, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're in the fight till the end, and you're not going to miss the playoffs because of this game. Let me put it that way. Yeah, the only way you miss the playoffs is if you lose several other games or lose games by a lot more. Like, this game right here actually will help you, even with the loss, will help you get into the playoff more, and it's going to hurt you getting out of the playoff. I'll just say that.
Yeah, so you brought that up. Last thing, talking about this game before we move ahead, because I do want to put this behind us. This is not a good thing to talk about. Any loss is not a good thing. Where do you have, I guess, how do you see Tennessee differently moving forward than you did at the beginning of the season? Do you see them differently moving forward than you did at the beginning of the season?
I mean, a lot of what they've done, I've kind of predicted. I knew that the wide receiver room would produce more. I've said that all offseason. Here's what I think I see different. I think they are also more talented. I think they are, right now, I think the wide receiver room is better than what they were last year. No disrespect. It's just facts. I think they're better dudes. That seeing them catch with their hands. Mike Matthews made a catch on the sideline, but the Georgia defender draped all over him, and he caught it with his hands coming back to the ball. That was a really good catch. I don't know. I think overall, I guess my perspective has changed in the fact that, I can fully believe in Joey now. I think he runs this offense really well. I think he's smart. A lot of the plays that he made were reads, and he's reading it well. Braylon Staley coming across the middle, that ended up being the touchdown. He kind of had a drag route, but then cut it up. And it was Braylon Staley that's actually reading the defender. If the safety comes down, he takes off and goes up. That's exactly what he did. Joey, it ended up being kind of in live, when the camera shot to him, it almost looked like a wide open Braylon Staley touchdown. And then they showed I love when they show the all 22 view from behind the quarterback, and you can actually see I love that just as a film guy. I love seeing that angle. But that read was really, really good. There was another read to Chris Brazzell. I think it was his second touchdown of the day, when he's reading the safety if he's going to crash down and take the crosser, which he did, or stay back over Chris Brazzell. Well, he cracked down on the crosser, and hit Brazzell on. It reminded me a lot of the Joe Milton throw against Clemson in the bowl game.
Yeah,
where, you know what I mean? And that throw by Joey was just so good, and the catch by Brazzell was really good. There's just a lot of good things to like out of the offense. I think we're averaging right now 56 points a game. And at first you're look at who you're playing. Well, okay, yeah, we played Georgia and still hung 41. I get it in overtime, whatever, 38 in regulation. But that's all I can ask for out of this offense. I need defense to step it up. I'll say that it's negative, but my perspective on this team is the defense has let me down, and I'm going to need to see vast improvement out of the defense from the pressure, from the secondary, and the linebacker. The linebackers got to do better. And I hate to say that because the linebackers are doing really well. They've got a lot of tackles and stuff like that. But overall, the defense has got to do better on third down defense, whatever. I mean, Georgia basically got 50% of their third downs and went 2 for 2 on fourth down. Got to win the money downs more often.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, my view of Tennessee moving forward is, you still got everything in front of you. That's 100% correct. You've still got a chance to make the playoffs. You still got a chance to make the SEC title game.
Georgia lost 2 SEC games last year, made the title game, and won it. Not saying that we're Georgia. I'm just saying it's possible. Then that's all we need is a chance.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything is in front of you if you're Tennessee. And honestly, the schedule is still going according to how I thought it would. In the preseason, I predicted a loss to Georgia.
I didn't. That's sad.
I predicted a loss to Georgia. I had a loss to Florida as well late in the season. Now, if I had to do it over again, I think Tennessee's got a better chance of beating Florida on the road than they do Alabama now. But I still feel good about that Alabama game overall as well. We'll see how I feel once we get to game week. I had Tennessee going 10-2 at the beginning of the season. I still think that's on the table. I think if Tennessee plays the way they did against Georgia, they might can finish the season 11-1. And that's not just me being a homer. That's being a college football fan, looking at what I saw on the field on Saturday and seeing the opponents Tennessee has left on their schedule. I think they've got every possibility in the world of going 11-1. Now, you've got to go out and play ball. That defense has got to tighten up because, the question that we all had going in was Joey Aguilar. Is he going to be that guy? Is he the guy that can go out there and win a ball game? And you know what? I think Joey Aguilar can. But that defense has also got to step up, and they've got to do their part as well. They're not far off. They're still a good defense. There's some things that got to get tightened up. You got to have a little bit better play out of your linebackers, like you said, especially on the money downs. The secondary's got to tighten up a little bit. And I get it. You're down your top two corners in Ricky Gibson and in Jermon McCoy. Well, guess what? Jermon McCoy is going to be coming back soon. Now, is he going to be 100%? Who knows? Here's what I'll also say. Ty Redmond got picked on Saturday. He is a true freshman that came in against one of the he came in against one of the best teams in the country, and he got picked on, but he also
still got an
held his own
interception.
at times. He did still get an interception.
Yeah.
We already mentioned that final play. He adjusted from the first half where he was just absolutely picked on and got embarrassed a few times, and he had fantastic defense on that final play of Georgia's touchdown drive at the end of regulation. It was just better offense at that point. So Colton Hood is still that dude, in my opinion. I don't think you're going to see Ty Redmond play that bad the rest of the year. I think Tennessee's defense is only going to improve.
I will say this, and the commentators even said this on the broadcast. I do feel like our defense looked confused a lot.
They did.
They were communicating. I like that they communicate, but they were communicating too much. I don't know why we were so confused. And I say this comparing it to Georgia's defense. Even with us having the success that we had against Georgia's defense, their defense never looked really confused. We got to do something a little bit better there. I've got to point out, and I've got to bring it up because why not? In the SEC, Nico only had 9 total touchdowns? Joey Aguilar in one game against Georgia has 5.
Yeah, I mean...
Also has more yards than Nico ever threw against any competition. I think Nico had 314 against, it was a half against I don't know, Utah State, UTEP, I don't know, whatever.
I don't even remember who it was. UT Chat.
Maybe Akron.
It was UT Chat.
Yeah. 314 yard. Well, Joey Aguilar puts up 371 against Georgia. I mean, come on. I love it, dude. And that's why UCLA fired their head coach. And Nico's going to be going somewhere else. It's great. It's fine.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else on this game before we move forward?
Game of the year. Classic.
I agree. So I actually do have one more thing. Did you see the numbers for the viewership in this game?
Peaked at 16 million and averaged, 13 million viewers over this game?
Averaged, basically 13 million. 12.
You want to know why Tennessee has so many haters?
Why's that?
People like to see us win. Or lose, however you want to say it. But I'm just telling you, with Tennessee having the chance to win this game, that's what attracted so many people. Maybe they wanted to watch Georgia lose. I don't know. But I'm telling you, anytime CBS or ABC talks about numbers, it's when Tennessee's playing. Whether it's against Alabama, whether it's against Florida, Georgia, it doesn't matter. Tennessee's involved.
Yeah. So how do you think CBS feels right now? Because listen to a couple of these stats from that game. So we already mentioned 12.6 million viewers. It peaked at 16 million. It was ABC's 4th most watched regular season game over the last decade. Now, ABC was with ACC and Big Ten before this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the TV deals. I just know we were with CBS.
ABC's best 3:30 Eastern regular season game since 2006.
I've seen that one. No, that's
So,
crazy.
yeah, it's
It
it's pretty
outperformed
crazy.
like the other games of the day, and there was good games on, including A&M Notre Dame, which was an amazing game.
Yeah.
But it
So-
outperformed those games by like 7 to 8 million viewers. Like it was insane how much more we peaked. It was
Yeah. So a couple other stats, and this goes over the first 3 weeks of the season. So ABC boasts the top 2 most watched windows in 2025 across all networks. Saturday Night Football and SEC on ABC, 3:30 p.m. each, averaging 9 million viewers. ABC off to the best 3-week start on record, averaging 7.8 viewers, which is up 41% year over year. Then ABC already matches their 2024 season with 4 games surpassing 10 million viewers. So what you're telling me is the first 4 weeks of the season, whenever you include week 0 in there, they have already surpassed the 4 games that they got 10 million viewers in 2024. Wow. Just incredible.
just wait till Tennessee goes down to T-Town.
Yeah, because that'll be on ABC unless
Yeah.
Alabama just absolutely falls off. the
I
face
think
of the
next week's going to be a big. I mean, next week is going to be a big one too because it's Georgia Alabama, and we're going to find out if Ty Simpson's actually. What is the joke behind Alabama being ranked above Tennessee right now?
You know what? We need a longer podcast to talk about that.
Yeah. All right. Which I was about to talk to you. We were playing UAB this week. If we want to do segment 2, do our picks, and then segment 3 be with Jake, I'm totally okay with that. But if you've got nothing else on this game, we can move right into whatever you want to go. However you want to
Yeah, so we'll go into segment 2 and we'll kind of make it a combined segment with our picks and just
That's
talk briefly about UAB. But do you want to give us our segment 2 sponsor?
You sure, or I sure can. It's P&L Business Services. You know, we know firsthand that getting your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other essential business services right is critical. That's why at P&L Business Services, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you with everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. So behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper. Trust P&L Business Services today. Guys, this kind of looks like if you started your business and you're, customer service, which you're great at, but you're failing to collect, or you're getting the money, but you're not sure how to get it to Uncle Sam or anything like that, billing, receivables, accounting, anything like that, and you're struggling, and then it's causing you to kind of dwindle on that customer service, you really need to go online to pnlbusinessservices.com and let them take care of all the paperwork behind the scenes and let you focus on what you literally do the best, which is your service, your customer service, your face-to-face, however you do your business, but allow PNL to help you on the back end. And we appreciate them so much for handling or supporting our show. And they're, again, right here in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. But you don't necessarily have to be local to the area to have their services and help you. Just have a good email and great communication, which is what they're great at. So thank you, P&O Business Services.
So UAB against Tennessee. And let me just first off say, this is one time I wish that it was a road game, because on Fridays and Saturdays right now, at least at the end of the year, I am actually working out of Birmingham, Alabama, 5 minutes away from UAB Stadium.
You're there.
So I absolutely wish this was a road game, but that's neither here nor there. Tennessee, they're going to win Saturday. Let me just say that. Tennessee's not on upset alert at all. This is another game.
They're not only going to win, I think they cover the spread in the first half.
I think it'll be close. I think they cover the spread in the game. It's going to be very close whether they cover it in the first half or not. Because UAB can score points too. That's why that total right there is at 68.5.
I think what we better see out of Tim Banks is a defensive lock in. After giving up 38 in regulation to Georgia, albeit I know it's Georgia, but I hope Tim Banks has got this defense right, and we lock in for this game. And I know our offense is going to score points by the bunches. So, yeah, I mean, this game needs to be a score 42 in the first half, maybe 42-0. You might be right. I mean, it might be 42-10 at halftime, whatever. And then pull our starters. Yep. We don't need to risk anybody getting hurt in this game. In fact, we want to see people come back from this game, get healthy for this game. and just maybe tease them up, warm them up for Mississippi State next week. I never want to overlook an opponent, but yeah, you need to take care of business against UAB and really, really focus on that first road game against Mississippi State, where we actually got done a favor, and that's not a night game. It is a 3:15 Central Time game. So, Start Vegas won't be as bad as Rowdy, I don't think, but they'll still be a hostile environment and a game where I think they're doing their whole, I don't know if they're doing a whiteout or what,
they're doing the whiteout. So,
yeah. So
with that, we won't get into that this week because we'll have Mississippi State to talk about, but yeah, they'll be doing a whiteout. So, as far as uniforms go for this game, do you see Tennessee's pulling out the all orange for this weekend?
Not all orange. I wish they would do all orange.
So what?
I'm getting a bunch of hate on. I want the orange helmets, dude. Come on.
Yeah. I'd like to see the orange helmets too, but
look, I'm tired of people saying that we lost to South Carolina because of orange helmets. Because if they're holding that same standard, then we should never want to see the Smoky Grays again because we lost in our first game with those, and we should never want to see the checkered Neelam because I'm pretty sure we lost our first game in that. So I mean, if we're holding,
wasn't that the Oklahoma game with Baker Mayfield?
Yes, because if we're holding that same standard, all of our gimmicks basically are out. So it wasn't the helmets. I don't care if you say they're cursed. How would you know if they're cursed? Because we haven't even worn them again since. And in a game against UAB, are you really afraid of losing? I didn't think so. So wear the orange helmets. Come on.
Yeah, I think they should. But they're wearing the orange tops, orange bottoms on Saturday. Classic helmet. Probably black cleats. I don't know what cleats, but orange
Shout
tops.
out to Tennessee though. The first 4 games of the year, orange jerseys, white helmets.
Yeah,
I mean, for the traditionalists out there, you take it all in, dude. Like this is unlike Josh Heupel's teams, man. Like it's typically we've already seen the Smoky Grays by now, or something crazy. So
yeah, I'm kind of surprised we didn't see some sort of alternate uniform against Syracuse, but I'm kind of glad that they wore the classics in that game down in Atlanta. But do want to talk briefly about Tennessee's 3 permanent opponents coming up. Let me get this graphic off. So they're announcing on Tuesday next week. We won't have a podcast until next Thursday. So they're going to announce every single SEC team's 3 permanent opponents. And this can change. I did find that out. This is not going to be from here on out. Tennessee's going to be playing these 3 teams. This can change based on. I really think they're going to do more of a try to make it as balanced as they can. So I wonder if they're going to take how each team is doing kind of over a period of time. I'm not sure what that period is going to be, but let's just say Kentucky is obviously down right now. But maybe whenever they fire Mark Stoops and they get an actual head coach in there that might can get a little bit of talent, maybe they pick it up some and, maybe we'll just use South Carolina falls off the face of the earth. Maybe whoever Tennessee, if one of those teams is
very possible, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe if one of those teams is Tennessee's permanent opponent, they end up swapping it around. Tennessee plays one of the other teams and they give another team in the SEC, we'll just use Missouri, for instance. They get 3 harder teams. Maybe they swap out and give Missouri one of these easier teams trying to, make it more competitively balanced. So who do you think Tennessee's 3 teams are going to be? I can guarantee 2 of them.
Yeah, it's Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky.
So you do think it's going to be Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky?
I know for a fact it's Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. I guess I can't say I know for a fact, but I'm almost 1,000% positive.
I know for a fact it's going to be Alabama and Vanderbilt.
And Kentucky.
It should be Kentucky just based on how many times Tennessee has played Kentucky.
Then who is it?
The only other team I can think would be South Carolina.
No, it's Kentucky.
I mean, I would rather it be Kentucky because for Tennessee's sake, that's an easy victory every single year. But if you're going with a more competitively balanced look, Vanderbilt is historically not very good. You can't get rid of that third Saturday in October. South Carolina is a little bit more competitive than Kentucky.
Here's my question. What does competitive balance have anything to do with who your 3 biggest rivals are?
It shouldn't have anything to do with it.
It doesn't. So why are we even basing it on this?
because
Like at the end of the day, it's Kentucky and Vanderbilt's your in-state rival, and then Alabama's your biggest rival. Period. You can
Because-
say it's Florida, but Florida didn't really gear up until the 90s. And then Georgia has not actually been a long-term opponent either. So, like, no, like it's Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky.
because the SEC they're looking for that competitive balance. They're not just wanting to.
I mean,
the
you're still playing all the other
31 team.
teams every other year. I don't understand why that's got to be a problem. I don't, whatever.
I mean, I'm not saying I disagree with you. I think that it should absolutely be, Alabama, Vanderbilt, Kentucky. That's who I think it should be.
Yeah.
But do they decide to go with a more competitively balanced look? That's up for a different debate because I think that they very well could. But we'll see next week what they decide to do. So let's go ahead. We'll keep it in segment 2. Go ahead to the pick segment side of things. First game of the weekend. Let me get it pulled up here. Sorry, this is bad for podcast. So first game of the weekend, it is going to be Arkansas going up against Memphis. And this game is in Memphis at the Liberty Bowl. Arkansas is a 7.5-point favorite in this game. What say you, Arkansas, going up against Memphis?
I think Arkansas is going to pull out the win. They had a very close loss to Ole Miss last week, and I think they bounce back, get the big win over Memphis.
So Arkansas has definitely played better this year than I kind of expected. I feel like Taylor Green was going to be fine. I didn't know how his teammates would play around him. So Arkansas has been fine, but I predicted in my schedule predictions Memphis to get the win in this one. And honestly, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say that Memphis gets the win at home against Arkansas. So Memphis over Arkansas in this game. Let me write this down. That way I can update the stand.
All right. I like this.
All right, so you took Arkansas. I took Memphis. So next game on the slate is going to be our boys going up against UAB. Let me get the graphic pulled up here.
All right, we both are picking this game, so I want to add to cover or not to cover. And I am going to say they are going to cover.
I mean, I agree with you. I think they're going to cover.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know if it's going to be a first half cover, but I do think that they cover in this game.
I might be reaching there, but I think they're definitely going to cover.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they hit the total over as well, and only because I think Tennessee could possibly score 63 points on their own, and then maybe a touchdown by UAB or whatever. But yeah.
So 3:30 game. Auburn going up against Oklahoma. This game is
such a
Norman.
good game. I don't think it may not end up being a good game, but I love the storylines going into this game. Give me Oklahoma because John Mateer has shown me a lot more consistency out of the quarterback position than Jackson Arnold has. But I think it would. I'll tell you right now, I'm rooting for Jackson Arnold and Auburn to pull the upset over Oklahoma all day long. I just think that Oklahoma's a more complete team. I can't believe I'm trusting Brent Venables more than Hugh Freeze as well. So give me Oklahoma.
Yeah, so I mean, I do need to issue an apology to Oklahoma fans if you are watching this. I was not a believer in you guys coming into this season, and I think that there's still a lot to prove going forward, but Oklahoma's a good team. And it does make me nervous for that game in Knoxville later in the year.
I think that's the hardest remaining game on our schedule.
I think it very well could be. But I also have to say this right here. I've been a believer in Auburn. I did take a slight step back because of some of the offseason stuff that went on with Hugh Freeze. But I'm still a believer in Auburn. And I think Jackson Arnold is going to go into that game, and he's going to have the game of his life against his former team. Give me Auburn on the road against Oklahoma.
If I lose this game because of that, I would actually be more happy. And I know that sounds dumb, but if Jackson Arnold goes in to Memorial Stadium and gets the win, could you imagine? Could you imagine them Boomer, and then Jackson Arnold was being like, "You suck." Sorry, I just that would be awesome. I would love it more than anything.
Yeah.
So what a pick!
Next
I love
game.
that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sticking with it. I picked it at the beginning of the
that's
year.
a good pick.
I'm gonna stick with it here.
I
So
love it.
next game on the slate is Tulane going into Vaught Hemingway to play against Ole Miss. Ole Miss a 13-point favorite here. You know,
13-point favorite, but this is a sneaky good game.
this is a very sneaky good game, and a game that last year I said was kind of a long shot Tulane upsetting Ole Miss, and for a little while it looked like that was actually going to happen, but I don't know if it will this year. Ole Miss does have some injuries. I don't know if Austin Simmons will play or not, but I do think that Ole Miss is a little bit more talented. Give me Ole Miss to win this game at home.
I'm doing some research myself. Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I mean, Tulane looking sexy, I guess, on paper because they're 3-0. But I'm sitting here looking at the scores. I mean, they beat Northwestern 23-3, and Northwestern's not good. South Alabama, they just skate by 33-31, and then they did beat Duke 34-27.
I do want to throw myself a little bit of a bone. Is that's 2-0 on the WTF pick so far? As that was my WTF from last week.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So I mean, Tulane, although they are 3-0, I do see Ole Miss getting the win here. But Ole Miss is not looking, in my opinion, they've not played their best version of ball yet. Austin Simmons, you mentioned that he's banged up. He's not been playing the best anyways. I mean, he looked really good in week 1, but he's actually 4-4 as far as his touchdown to interceptions ratio. But the backup did play promising behind him. So I think for this game alone, Ole Miss gets the win. But I'll be looking for Ole Miss to make some vast improvements because they're going to have to make them before they get really deep into SEC play.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. So next game on the slate, it's Northern Illinois going up against Mississippi State. Is there any thoughts of a letdown spot, especially with Northern Illinois having the history of pulling off upsets like they did against Notre Dame last year?
No shot. And I think that's exactly wise because they're not sneaking up on anybody anymore. Like last year, I think people still remember that. And Mississippi State's getting their first glimpse of some good. I'm not going to say greatness, but of some good. I don't think they're going to let it slip this quick. So I think Mississippi State gets it done. And they got it in a healthy spot, too, at the 4:15 spot and on the SEC network as well.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think Mississippi State gets a win here, and it shouldn't be a problem for that game either. No. So next one on the slate, it is the Governor's Cup. It's South Carolina traveling to Como to play against Missouri. This game, in my mind, has definitely flipped from where I thought it would be at the beginning of the year. Missouri, a 9.5-point favorite at home.
Yeah, I thought this was South Carolina's to lose.
Does Lenoris Sellers even play in this game after being knocked out of the game against Vanderbilt last week? Shane Beamer said that he's trending towards playing.
To be fair, it was a really soft hit. I don't even understand why he went out.
I thought
that was not an egregious hit in any way, in my opinion. Man, South Carolina needs this, honestly, or the wheels could really fall off for South Carolina. But I'm telling you, is it Bo Pribula? I don't know how to say. Yeah,
Bo Pribula.
He's looking pretty good, and I mean. Let me see. Not really played a ton. I mean, they played Kansas kind of close. Give me South Carolina.
Okay. So South Carolina to go into Como and get a win. So I'm actually going to go opposite.
Yeah, I figured you would. I wanted to go Missouri, but I knew you were not. So I just, give me.
Yeah, I'm going to go Missouri in this game. I do think South Carolina still got the talent that they can win this game, but I also think if Lenoris Sellers does not play, then they've got no shot to win this game. And with the question marks around it, I'm not confident in it. And Missouri's got the game at home. I think that they go in and they win this game.
I think it's a bad spot for Missouri. in the sense of South Carolina just got knocked senseless by Vanderbilt.
That's fair. That's fair.
This could be a big bounce back for South Carolina, and maybe they put that hate on Missouri. I don't know. We'll see. It's not an overlook spot because South Carolina's got Kentucky next, and Kentucky's so bad. But yeah, I don't know why I'm going with South Carolina other than I'm just hoping that maybe they rebound really well.
Yeah, that's fair there. So next game, it is the ABC game. It's Florida going up against Miami, and I do gotta ask, why in the world is College Game Day going to this game?
I am actually shocked that they are not going to
Indiana, Illinois.
Not even that one. There was another game that I was kind of like, man, they really could have went to that game and they didn't. But Illinois, Indiana is definitely up there. But there was, let me look real quick. Okay, I would even say Arizona State, Baylor, Big 12. That's stuff.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm telling you, that is as far as a weekend where you got to go show some love to other teams, right? They can't look SEC bias or Big 10 bias. That would have been a good option, as that's their opener for Big 12 play. And then I think I was maybe thinking of the South Carolina Missouri game because I'm like, man, that's a good matchup. That's a good game. I think it'll be a good game.
I feel like
I think better than Florida Miami at least.
If South Carolina had not gotten beat the way that they had last week against Vanderbilt, I feel like that might have been your College Game Day game.
Maybe, but couldn't you say the same thing about Florida and the way they lost to USF and LSU?
Well, they still ended up going down there, so I guess it didn't really matter.
What I'm saying. So, I mean, I don't know. Auburn, Oklahoma. Hell, why wouldn't game day there?
Yeah,
it's the same spread.
Very good point.
And that's a good storyline. So, and they're both 3-0. That's a top 25 ranked game. So, I mean, Auburn, Oklahoma, I think is the one I was actually thinking about. So, I don't know. It is what it is. But they are going here. I think it's a weird spot as well. I think Florida gets it done.
Woohoo! Okay. So
I'm joking.
Florida gets it done. Now I'm writing that down.
It didn't even sound good coming off the tongue. I just don't think they do it.
I'm writing that down. He picked Florida. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, no. Go ahead. I don't care. If I'm right on this, I am absolutely going to flaunt this. I will let you know.
You will be the only one that picked that game if you get it right.
Give me Florida.
All right, so gonna take Florida. Well, you tossed it up. You put it on a tee for me. I'm gonna take Miami, and this is a complete flip flop from what I was saying at the beginning of the season, where I completely just talked down on Miami because I thought that their only good player was going to be Carson Beck, and they've actually got a defense this year, and I think that they'll get it done.
So that. My reasoning behind Florida is their defense has actually been good too.
That's a fair point. All right, so Florida now,
Florida's
is
defense,
1-2.
everybody's sleeping on it because they've lost, but I'm telling you, dude, LSU got 5 interceptions and could only post 20 points.
Florida this season, they're 1-2, and they have only given up 2 offensive touchdowns all season.
I'm telling you, man.
That defense is good, but the problem is you can't throw 5 interceptions on offense and expect.
But DJ ain't gonna do that 2 weeks in a row. This is why I think Florida could actually pull. Yes, he's not doing that 2 weeks in a row. So I don't know. Give me Florida. I'm fine with it.
All right, so
give me all the hate. But I'm telling you, I'll be watching this game with a buddy of mine on the boat, and when Florida wins, I will be personally DMing you. All of you.
All right. So next game after that Florida-Miami game, it is going to be Georgia State going up against Vandy. This game is in Nashville this year. Vandy not going on the road.
Dare I say Vanderbilt's underranked, but underrated, I should say. Give me Vanderbilt. Yep.
So this is going to be my upset pick of the week. No, I'm just kidding. Vanderbilt's going to get a win in this one. They're not going to overlook They're not going to overlook Georgia State as they maybe have in the past, as other teams have done in the past as well. And I'm not just throwing a shot at, the Jeremy Pruitt days. There's been other teams outside of that have overlooked Georgia State. But I think that Vanderbilt gets it done in this one. They get it done pretty easy. So next game is going to be Southeast Louisiana going up against LSU. Is this going to be like softball where there is an upset, or is LSU going to come in and get a victory in Baton Rouge?
LSU is going to win this game.
Yeah, I agree.
And then probably get questioned why they didn't run the ball too well. And Brian Kelly's probably going to like blow up and explode. And
oh my word, that press conference, dude, that was insane. I put a message in with some buddies of mine. That doesn't rank quite up there with the "I'm a man, I'm 40" from Mike Gundy, but it ranks up there in post-game press conference rants.
What up, boy? The College Huddle has tuned in. Our folks right here, they said, "What up, boys? Good to see you guys tonight, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. We're just talking some ball, making some picks. Got a couple good games this weekend, and unfortunately, you caught us on a game that's not so good. I think LSU is going to steamroll them, and I think the next game that we're about to talk about is going to be another. Well, I don't know. Texas has not been looking that good. I'm joking. Texas should absolutely beat Sam Houston.
Yeah,
so that is the next game, right?
That's what I thought. That's the last game. Texas. Let's talk about Arch for just a second, though.
He's just not the guy yet. He's
I'm
gonna say yet because I still believe, but man, he's just not it.
Yeah, he's definitely not. Now I think he's got time to put it together.
I keep seeing memes saying that he went to the wrong team.
Yeah. I think he absolutely did. So,
it's fine. Should have went to Ohio State.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, I'm joking.
So still so I will say I am finishing up the graphic for upset pick of the week.
It's totally fine.
Tallying up the last bit here. You are still in the lead. I think you actually had a perfect week last week. Let me look. So Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn, Missouri. So I need to go up to the top. So you did pick LSU. I think both of us picked LSU in that game. I take it back. You did miss one because we both picked Tennessee. So that was the only blemish from last week. But you picked Texas.
Dang it.
You picked A&M. You picked Vandy, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Alabama, Auburn, Missouri, Mississippi State, and Kentucky. So that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more to add to that.
That hurt you so bad, didn't it?
It
that A&M pick was gold, bro. I don't know how they did it, but I'll take it.
Dude,
I'll take it.
That was such a heartbreak.
What's crazy is when Notre Dame botched the extra point. I knew. I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna cost them the win. And then sure enough, A&M drives it right down the field, and I was like, oh my goodness. Freeman, how we feeling? Because, buddy, your path to the college football playoff just got a lot harder. They still got to play Arkansas, and that's not a pushover game. Like, I'm telling you, Notre Dame not going to make it.
Let's see.
But
so
I do know what my upset pick of the week is going to be.
All right, go with it. I'm about to upload the standings so that you can see it because neither one of us covered from last week.
Actually, a wrench just got thrown in my pick because I thought I knew who I was picking, but I think I still can pick them. I just can't find out where their line is. I was looking at the wrong school, actually, and I know how I did that. I just don't want to explain it until I find it.
So who are you thinking about? Because I've got the lines pulled up.
Who is UCLA playing?
UCLA.
Because I literally don't see it on the ESPN list.
They might be off this week.
No shot.
Yeah, I think UCLA is off this week. I'm not seeing anything for them. Either that or they're playing a FCS school, and Action 247, who is our official sponsor for the Lions this year.
Dang it.
Does not have. Yeah, I'm not seeing that one.
Okay. Well, let me look again because I don't have because I was literally it didn't even matter who it was. I was about to pick whoever UCLA was playing.
I've got mine if you're okay with me.
Go ahead.
So I narrowed it down to 3 different games, and I tiered it in games that I feel best about, and the game that I felt okay about, and then the game I didn't feel so good about. So I am going to go with the game I feel best about since it is on the table. Let me scroll down here to make sure that it is still the correct line. Well, this is bad for podcast. I just saw it earlier. Well, now I have lost it. Where is it?
No way. It was your most confident one. How do you not remember it?
Yeah, I know. Oh, here we go. All right. It is West Virginia plus 13 going on the road against Kansas.
I've seen that one. Just seen that.
West Virginia did not have a good week in, I believe it was week 1, if I'm not mistaken. But they looked a lot better, especially last week whenever they got that upset win against Pitt. And Kansas is just they're okay in my opinion. I felt like that they should have played a little bit better against Missouri than they did. Missouri ended up handling them towards the end. So I'm not fully confident in Kansas. I think that 13 points is too many. I think that West Virginia goes on the road and they get a win in Big 12 play.
I like it. I got a question for you. And this is a legitimate one. And I understand if you don't want to allow it because we didn't talk about this beforehand. But to me, it makes sense. We talk about double-digit underdog.
Mm-hmm.
But if the line is 9.5, technically to pull the outright upset, they have to win by 10.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
You're doing South Carolina, Missouri, aren't you?
Yes.
Doubling down on it.
Action 247 is 9.5, right?
Yep, it's 9.5.
That's what I thought. So give me South Carolina. And I'm pretty sure that's what I picked anyway. So I'm not even going against my pick. So I will just double down on South Carolina upsetting Missouri and Como. And yeah. I just wanted to make sure because in my mind, that's still a double-digit dog. Only not necessarily their double-digit dog, but in order to pull the outright upset, they would have to cover. It would be 10 points, which is double digits. So yeah, give me that.
Yeah, so that's a good point. I mean, I'm absolutely going to allow that. That you're right. That is to be able to cover that. It is they got to win by at least 10.
Right.
Yes.
They not win by 10.
Yeah, to
the
lose
9.5 point spread. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, 100%. So the upset picks of the week this week, mine is West Virginia plus 13 against Kansas. And then yours is going to be South Carolina plus 9.5 against Missouri. So
my other candidate was Air Force over Boise.
I looked at that one, but I said I had 2 tiers of it. My other 2 picks was going to be, so the one that I was kind of semi-confident in was Maryland plus 10 against Wisconsin.
Oh.
And then the one, when I first looked at this other one, I was immediately like, all right, this is 100% going to be my upset pick of the week.
Stanford, Virginia? No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
So I looked at that one too. But the one that I was actually looking at, it was Tulsa plus 11 against Oklahoma State.
Yep.
And as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm taking that. Because I was like,
Oklahoma State just got their bell rung, dude.
Well, not just that, but I was like, okay, Tulsa also just played with Kentucky and covered against that one. And then I realized, oh, that was Toledo. So if it was Toledo, I would 100% take that 11 points right there. Tulsa, I still feel decent about it, but I don't feel confident, which is why I didn't take that
what
one.
What about Wyoming over Colorado?
That could absolutely happen. I think that 100% could happen.
Kind of want to change my pick, but it's all good. No, I'm riding with South Carolina. Let's get it.
All right, so let's move over to segment 3 where we're going to bring on the man, the myth, the legend.
Right, get out of here.
All right, so real quick, I'm not going to take much time on this.
Oh, man, this looks beautiful. Oh, my goodness. So, did you have this up the whole time?
I got it up as you were choosing yours.
Wow, dude, I should have just looked down a little bit sooner. Woo,
So-
I'm running away with it, fellas.
So with that comment, yeah, this is week 3, by the way. So,
I don't care. I've only had 4 losses. Outside me, yellow dog.
So somebody said right there, we need Nico back. Interesting fact here. So with them firing their head coach,
He's probably coming back.
UCLA has not started classes yet. So because of that, they've only played 3 games. Their guys can transfer out. Now, granted, they cannot play for any other team this season, but because they have not started classes, they can go ahead and enroll at another school right now and be practicing in mid-season. UCLA could lose half their football team right now. Same thing. Now, Virginia Tech has started classes, so theirs is a little bit different. But Virginia Tech also fired their coach, which means that since they've only played 3 games, every single person on that team can go ahead and redshirt if they wanted to and preserve your eligibility.
I think we got folks tuning in for the next segment, and I think the pregame is in. Robbie, it's good to have you.
He's in, he's in the background right now, just hiding his face. So let's go ahead. Let's get the man, the myth, the legend on. But before we do that, I'm going to give you our segment 3 sponsor, and that is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with a personalized, efficient, and quality service. If you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at kaizenpainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. So let's move over here. Let's bring on the man himself, Jake. Man, we've got to make sure that you have a actual block, like a speaker block on here, so I don't have to do this every single week. Replace. There we go.
Hopefully you can at least hear me this time, you know?
Yeah, we got you, man. We can hear you, but we've already mentioned you're on a little bit of you're on a probation right now, my man.
I am.
I mean, 2 out of 3 weeks, and we have a losing record. Let me go ahead and just pull the record up here real quick. Wrong one.
Let's see. Maverick's already back after it, man. Last year I said, now this is just fake news. I want to make sure that people understand. I made a miscalculation. So did Urban Meyer. So did I think every coach that has ever evaluated anybody ever thought that Nico was going to be good. We don't think he's terrible. We just think he might be the most average player we've ever seen. He will not win you football games. The Eskimo hat, I'm taking it off because I feel good about this week. We've had, obviously, you can see 7 and 8. Are we including the bonus pick in that?
That does not have the bonus pick.
Exactly. So we're 500.
It should be 8 and 8. Yeah, I'll have to update that.
No, keep it out. I want to work my way up, but I'm excited about this one. Again, as the season progresses, we start to see the identity of teams. There's been a lot.
Jake will continue to say that until week 14, and
I'm 7 and 44, guys. It's okay. We're due for one. I'm liking these. This is kind of a good week for games, and you're seeing some guys who just don't match up well against one another. So super excited about it.
No, I'm sorry. I got to throw one more joke out there. It'll be championship weekend. Jake will be like, well, now that we're learning a little bit more about these teams and, how each team is.
There's only so much I can do, man.
It's fine. I get it. I'm sorry.
We did okay last year at the start, didn't we? And then it just kind of tapered off.
It was a lot of 4-1s, honestly. And then it's fine. Well, let's get back to it right here. It's fine.
Honestly, I'm excited. This first one, Michigan -2 at Nebraska, fires me up. Shaw, love you too. Going to be in my wedding, so big time. So fired up about it. Michigan -2 versus Nebraska is a huge game, in my opinion. And this one comes down to a couple of things for me. Nebraska's playing some good football. If you look at them on paper, they're going to show that they're a really good team, going away from the box score warrior mentality here. I think I heard Josh Pate say it, the rule 3 rule. Yeah. Something about how
best teams in year 3
every time. Now they're playing efficient. I think Raiola has the best passing efficiency in the country.
What?
Yeah, he is up there on it. But if you watch the tape a lot, you'll see the guy is throwing some really questionable balls. Yeah, Red. After the 8 beers deep, I don't think I want you in the wedding at this point.
All right.
No, invitations yet to be coming. Don't you worry. But again, it's one of those things where I think Raiola has just gotten away with it more so than been a baller. Coach Rule is going to put them in a lot of situations to win ball games. Michigan's coming into this thing, a 2-point favorite. I think that's probably a little low. I would think, with what they have, they're better on both sides of the ball. They have more depth on both sides of the ball, and I think that they have better one-off athletes. I think that Bryce Underwood, he is a freak. I think the interim coach says he might be Batman. Dude, he's going to be a really good player for a few years. So I'm excited for this one because I think Michigan being tested is a huge thing. There's nothing like playing at Oklahoma. Nebraska's going to be fired up. So it's just one of those things where I think if you look at it and you know anything about ball, Michigan should be a clear favorite here. Maverick in here saying this. If there's anybody I've ever seen, he's a former Tennessee alum. Roots for every Texas team. Moves down to Fort Worth, Texas, and all of a sudden nothing for his alum. I'm pretty sure I can't tell if he's a Texans fan or a Cowboys fan or a Texas Tech fan or a TAMU. I mean, he might be for Sam Houston State. I don't know, but we'll figure it out maybe one day. So. A little shot right there. But again, Michigan has better stuff on both sides of the ball. This is a no-brainer. Really confident in this one. That's why it's my first pick. Going into my second one, it's going back to teams that have been tested. So Auburn at Oklahoma -7. Auburn has relied heavily on the run, which is crazy to me because they have so much talent at wide receiver. The problem that Oklahoma has is their second in passing yards allowed. But if the matchup is going to be where we're going to run the ball, I feel very confident. Oklahoma's got some really big, mean dudes around the perimeter, and that will come up and hit. So I expect their linebackers, their safeties, their corners to be able to kind of contain it and funnel it in the middle. Plus, as much as I love Jackson Arnold's name, I don't think he is the best passer. I really just don't see him doing much. I think that Les Miles, whatever the guy's name is, Hugh Freeze, I think that his game plan going into this, and the only way that I lose this bet is it's going to be to squeeze the game with a run, try to squeeze possessions, make it last, hope for a turnover, and go that way.
I think his game plan is exactly what Oklahoma's was against Alabama last year, where you just let Jackson Arnold run around.
Yeah.
I mean, just let him be an athlete and use him in the running game, which kind of evens out the numbers, right? When you have him as a +1 runner or whatnot. I mean, I think that's how they at least make it a ball game. But Michael's high on Auburn in this game. I just don't see it, man. I think Oklahoma's just a more complete team, in my opinion. And you got them at home, and that's not a good look.
The environment is going to be a big factor.
Yes,
and that will definitely lean Oklahoma's way. Something just tells me that Auburn might end up pulling a rabbit out of a hat here, and Jackson Arnold's just got to have the game of his life against his former team.
And you will look very smart if that happens.
And now that you say that, a thing that does concern me about this, you got to think that he played for Oklahoma. I mean, it's not like, Oklahoma's sitting there and they're going to be able to throw out the whole playbook and get a new one. This is week 3 or week 4, so that's the only concern I have. But I mean, Michigan to me is a far better team than Auburn, more complete, and Oklahoma got it done. I think they're going to have the same thing. I think it's going to be one of those where just Oklahoma kind of finds a way to get out of it. So pretty confident in that.
Here's one thing I need to say about Oklahoma. We talked last week about the Eric Ainge show, the segment Clean It Up. What is Oklahoma doing? Did y'all see the injury report for Oklahoma this week? They had, I believe it was 8 offensive linemen either listed as questionable or out or probable, whatever, on their injury report. It was like 8 to 10 different offensive linemen were listed somewhere on that injury report.
Want to go back to Maverick saying Oklahoma has another offensive coordinator. I am not worried about Oklahoma's offensive coordinator. I'm worried about Oklahoma's defensive coordinator because Jackson Arnold plays on the offensive side.
I also want to know if Maverick knows ball, like where is his actual record, and I want to see the record of these picks. I
We were
want
just
to.
talking about this.
Yeah.
It's very easy to say, well, Texas is a good team. Thank you. I would, if it were me and I was the head coach of Oklahoma, I would list my entire roster as questionable.
100%.
Okay, Brian Kelly.
I would. Because
Just-
apparently you can be penalized if you don't have them on the list at all and then they don't play on Saturday.
What?
Now, they can get around it by saying, well, it just happened in walkthroughs or whatever, or he woke up with a stomach bug. Like, there's ways they can get out of it. But yeah, if you're not truthful and honest on your initial injury report, that yes, they can actually
That
have
makes
some
sense.
penalty. Whether it's fines or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you have to be honest about your injury report.
I'm assuming that's there to protect them medically. Is my guess.
That and the integrity of the sport, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
that's interesting. I hadn't heard that, but
Yes.
that's awesome. Yeah,
I'll try to find a report.
again another reason to just list everybody as questionable.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're almost safer to do that than you are to not have somebody listed and then Saturday rolls around and guy can't play. And of course, like I said, they have loopholes that they can get out of it and it not be a problem.
Yeah.
But if it's a serious injury and they don't report it, yes, that is a problem.
Well, one thing who's going to be injured. DJ Lagway is going to be hurting.
My wallet's hurting right now, but I mean, with these picks, I tell you,
Florida at Miami. Is it still -7.5? I'm assuming.
So I was gonna say I will allow you to change your pick if you want to, because since this afternoon when you sent these picks over,
I think it's up to
the
9.5
The
now.
Lions jumped to 9.5.
Just shows I know ball. I mean, I'm not too.
I mean,
I'd honestly, might as well throw a -14 in there. I mean, I think DJ Lagway is going to get a rude awakening from Bain, number 4 on the defensive line for Miami. I freaking love that dude. There's nobody built like him. What is he, like 6'6", 280 pounds? Just freakish. I was high on them last week. This is one of the 2 out of my 5 picks that got right. I thought that they were going to annihilate, USF.
Because I do want to also throw
that.
out Jake was confident last week that LSU would win by 2 touchdowns. He said, -7.5, take it up to 2 touchdowns, and they only won by 10. So I do want to throw that out there as well.
But
that's still 2 possessions. I mean, my bad. My bad.
Here's my. I'm torn on this game because, like, I hate Florida, and like,
but that's a good defense.
But no, like, the nose ball side of me says Miami's winning this game, and it's probably not even going to be close. But do we not want Florida to win this game?
No,
we want Billy Napier to hang around.
That's what I'm saying. That is, dude. Read my. Do we not want Florida to win this game?
No. I'd like to see Florida go 0-12. We don't have to play them next year.
Respectfully disagree. I think money-wise, this is the smart move. 100%. But I'm telling
here's
you, when I'm
what
watching this game, you're gonna see a Tennessee fan root for Florida. I don't care. Florida's already lost twice. I don't care. I want Billy Napier to stay, and this is a step for him staying.
Here's what I will say as well. Let's just say that
we're gonna run the ball with that running back. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There's our what's it called? Our token Florida fan right there.
Yeah, but let's just say that Tennessee does still get beat by Florida in the swamp at the end of the season. I would rather Florida actually have a decent record whenever Tennessee gets beat by them than have a 3-8, or I guess at that point it'd be 3-7 Florida team beat us at home in the swamp when we're looking at a possible college football playoff dead in the face. I mean,
no moral victories. I want Florida 0-12. Have they? No, sorry, 1-11. Long Island. Come on. I don't have any notes on this one. This is the only game I have 0 notes on.
Don't worry, DJ Lagway, 5 interceptions.
That's all I needed to know.
But here's what I will say. People are overlooking how good Florida's defense is. I'm telling you, Florida's defense is solid.
This is the same thing. It's like it's just like, in my opinion, the Auburn Oklahoma game, where the game plan for Billy Napier is going to be hold the ball for as long as I can and not make the score look as bad.
Well, I mean, If they're just trying to cover, then they might work on
Dude,
that.
they got more problems than they realize. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Florida's defense is good, but Miami took a huge step up on
did.
their defensive secondary. Their
Yeah.
offense is electric. Carson Beck's running there like he's been
It's
there
fine.
for 5 years.
Fine. I made the bet, but I'm telling you, I'm willing to lose the money for Florida to beat Miami.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
am.
not.
I
No,
am.
no,
I
no.
am. I need Billy to stay.
I want
I need Billy to stay.
Alabama to go 0-12. I want Florida.
I need Billy
Vandy.
to.
I
no,
mean,
I
just
need
give me all
Billy
of
to
them.
stay. We need Billy to stay.
They said he's staying. I trust.
I haven't seen that this year. No, sure.
Strickland said it. He's our
well,
ball coach.
then at that point, then fire him or lose him, lose all the games. That's fine. I'm fine.
They might have to get rid of all the administration. They might just start, firing.
Yeah, Billy's about to
professors.
fire
Well,
offensive
half their administration is already gone anyway. They're still trying to hire
Didn't
people in.
the administration not outnumber the number of players they had on staff? Like I remember seeing that team picture last year, and it was like they had more trainers than players. It was insane.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm sorry to interrupt. This is your
And
segment. I'll shut
they
up.
still couldn't keep DJ Lagway healthy. So
Yeah.
Mm.
This is going to be a massacre. I want to get to a spicy one here.
Let's do it.
I've got Illinois money line
I like
at
it.
Indiana.
I
like
love this.
Guys, where is the
Red
game
Villanova.
won? Where is the game won? There is only one right answer. This is a really quick trivia. Where is the game won?
The middle eight.
The middle eight?
Yeah.
Line of scrimmage.
That's in the trenches, baby. Line of scrimmage. You win the game in the trenches. I don't know what middle eight is. You're gonna have to explain that.
The last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half. Numb nuts.
Well, that's where we lose the game. Okay, sorry.
Yes, you're right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm. Yes.
Relative. That doesn't apply to us. But
Whatever.
guys. Illinois has one thing going for them, and they've got a big dude at head coach. And I love that guy because he believes in putting your daggum nose in the dirt and just running through, honestly, your own face. So Illinois has done great. They're doing fantastic this year. Have they played anybody? No. Has Indiana played anybody? No. It's one of those things where I'm going to take the guy I trust, and I also think that the way that Indiana is going to have to play, they're going to have to do something on the ground to be able to sustain something. Illinois is very talented on their defensive line. I think that's going to be the difference maker. Another key stat is, and I'm just knocking on wood that it doesn't happen, this Saturday, but Illinois has yet to turn the ball over. They're very, very, disciplined, and they're greedy with the ball. I think Illinois takes this one to the house. It was Illinois, I believe, or as Indiana -6 was the line, which I think is crazy. Illinois is ranked higher, I believe, on the polls. Indiana, again, is not tested. They're not as old. They've got
Indiana's
a good
still benefiting
quarterback.
from last year.
Yeah, they are. I don't necessarily think that this would be the shock if, obviously I'm going out of my way to pick an underdog here and taking the points. It's one of those things where this one to me just feels like it's a recipe for disaster. Indiana really wants this one. I'm assuming there's a lot of money from Indiana fans hoping that this is their year, but they have played nobody. And this is going to be a real gut check. Illinois is very seasoned. And
Who's Indiana's starting quarterback?
some kid from Cal. He
Okay.
transferred. They think he's okay. I can't remember his name.
I just didn't know if it was Taven Jackson. Taven Jackson was
No.
there, and
No.
I know he played a little bit last year, but
Yeah, that's the thing. Indiana's like it's the kind of the same thing that you have with Nebraska. Like they look really good on paper, but they've not been tested. Like that's the whole thing about this week that I feel about. Granted that you could say the same thing about Tennessee, and they threw up 40 against Georgia. So there's a lot to be said about it. My gut here, it just knows that Brett's going to want to put this ball on the ground and get it done. And I don't think Indiana has the kind of defensive lineman that they're going to need to stop that. And truthfully, Luke Altmaier is a great quarterback who has a high conversion percentage in third down and red zone. He just can get it done. So you got a doer here versus a guy who wants to try to do it. So that's mine. And then my last one, this one should have been at like -50. I should
I
never
agree.
take a big.
I know where
spread
this is
again.
going. He usually doesn't bet on the boys. We usually try to keep this separate, but
Let me.
This is the
recall
first
what
half
UAB. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is going to be as many points as they would like. And it's kind of disgusting. I would say if ETSU and UAB played, it might be a 60-40 deal where UAB may win 60% of the time. The only difference is UAB has a worse defense than ETSU does. They actually are ranked last in defense in the entire
Love to see
country
it.
in FBS. But I mean, they're down. I think they're injured. They've not done anything. Navy ran for like 330 yards on them. I mean, if we can run the ball on you,
Star and Bishop.
we're gonna
Come on.
beat you. We're going to not just like beat you, but we're going to beat you. So
And
I think
dare I say, as much as we're going to run the ball, I think Josh Heupel's actually going to let Joey Aguilar throw it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've seen or not, but Joey Aguilar climbing the Heisman odds. I mean,
it's as much as we don't want to think it's the
how-
politics and propaganda.
how-
This is the propaganda boost.
how in the world did this guy go from Appalachian State to UCLA to Tennessee, and now he's in the Heisman odds? We're not even a month in. This is crazy. You can't make this. You can't make this up. This is insane.
And we, it's so funny because like we got other guys on the team that are doing outstanding, like
Chris Brazel.
Brazel. I mean, they love him right
5
now. saying he
tutties
could
in
be
3
a-
games. Come on.
Stupid. But then you have like Joshua Josephs, who's leading the SEC in sacks.
Sacks.
And you've got Arian Carter, who's leading the SEC in tackles. I mean, you've got guys who are just all around the place.
You got a problem with my mic, okay?
Well, look, at the end of the day, when all 5 of these hit and I put the mortgage on it, I'll be able to afford me a mic. And that's a great segue into point this way. Don't do what I'm telling you to do.
Yeah. Thank you. I was like, Jake comes on next week and the lights are not on. If you do have a gambling problem, yes, the please reach out 1-800-889-9789. I'm pretty sure that's 1-800-GAMBLER. Because at the end of the day, it's all in good fun. But if you feel yourself feeling the need or that itch to put in a bet and money that you probably don't have at that moment, like just don't do it. But we do have, thanks to Action 247, local right here in Nashville, Tennessee, sports book. But we do have a promo code if you want to get started today. Just go on and it's Vol Fanatics, all one word, but it is plural. Vol Fanatics. And I'm not sure what the price. Do y'all know what the code, like, what does it get you? I don't know. I just know it's more money, or I don't know. It makes us look good, I guess. But
I signed up for it before we had the code. Unfortunately,
that's me too, brother.
Yeah.
But y'all do it. Y'all let them know that y'all are joining it and that we sent you there. Place a couple bets, go win it, and let us know how you did. And I do have to agree with Jake here. I feel a bounce back week. Selfishly rooting against the Miami pick, but I'm telling you, it's probably going to happen. Money wise, Miami's probably going to cover, but I'm just the heart of me. I think I want Miami to lose, probably because we're a 15th ranked team and Miami's 4th. And I know even if Florida wins, they won't jump us like Bama for some reason. Bama, whatever, screw Bama, dude.
So
It's so stupid.
that's the Rakin with Jake segment. But you know what we've done in the last 2 weeks?
What?
We've gone 2-0 in our WTF games, which is, for those of you that are just tuning in this week, WTF in sports stands for wrong team favored. And I've got 2 of them this week. I'm not going to guarantee both of them hit, but I think one of these for sure will hit. First one I'm going to go with, it is Texas Tech on the road against Utah. They're a 3-point underdog. Texas Tech can put up points like nobody's business. Utah's got a good team this year. They're very good on the defensive side of the ball, but I just think Texas Tech scores more points than Utah in this game. So I've got Texas Tech should be favored in this game. I think that they outright win the game. The other one I have is also a 3-point game. We're looking at North Carolina State, a 3-point underdog to Duke on the road. So both of these games on the road, but I think we have road underdogs that go in and win the game. Duke has shown that, their quarterback, he can throw the ball all over the place. He's got over 1,000 yards in 3 games, but they're not very good on defense, especially. They cannot run the ball. Their leading rusher right now has, I believe it's 129 yards on the ground total for the entire season, where the quarterback is throwing for over 1,000 yards. North Carolina State has not impressed in their 3 victories, as they got a touchdown victory against East Carolina. They got, I believe it was a touchdown victory against Virginia and won by 10 last week against Wake Forest. So not super impressive, but I think North Carolina State goes on the road against Duke and they get a conference win against the Blue Devils. So those are my 2 picks. Texas Tech 3-point underdog against Utah, and then North Carolina State a 3-point underdog against Duke as wrong teams favored.
Can I add one?
Go for it.
I think Middle Tennessee State should be favored at home over Marshall. And right now, Marshall's a 2.5-point favorite on the road.
I looked at that game.
If I could throw one in there, I think Middle Tennessee State's going to beat Marshall. Could be wrong, but I'm throwing it out.
I think that here's what I'll say.
I'm throwing it out there.
If it's gonna happen, it'll happen this year. I forget what the streak is, but Marshall has a long streak against MTSU.
Do they really?
They do.
They lost to what team is that? Missouri State?
Marshall also, I don't know if you remember me talking about it. Marshall also lost like their entire roster and their head coach to Southern Miss. So Marshall won the conference title last year in Conference USA and then proceeded to lose their head coach to the worst team in the conference in Southern Miss. And like half their team transferred from Marshall to Southern Miss this year. So I think that absolutely MTSU can win that game, especially having
so you're somewhat agreeing with me. You just didn't have the ball.
Right. Because,
now here's the thing.
That streak is
MTSU not looking so solid themselves. I mean, they lost to Austin Peay by a lot. But I don't know. They're at home. We'll see. They beat Nevada last week. Close.
So I'm looking up real quick to see what that streak is actually at right now.
All I know is my high school's going undefeated right now.
Let's go.
They're hanging 63 points against Webb on TV right now, guys.
Shout out to high school?
Gibbs? Grace. No, I'm a private school kid. If you can't tell. Grace Christian Academy, GCA. Yes. Yeah, they're 63-40 with 7 minutes left in the
GCA. That's not the school in. Is it Carnes?
Yes,
that is them. Okay,
yes.
I just seen G everywhere. I didn't see GCA. Nothing. It's just G. It's like I don't know. So I was like, I think that's Grace Christian, but I wasn't totally sure. I was passing by. Their field is so nice for their stadium to be so small.
Yeah, I mean, they're a 2A school. When I was there, we had, I still think we do. My 4 years was the winningest they've ever had. We had 2 semifinal appearances and 2 quarters. So it's huge for them. The guys that they have who took over were the Price brothers from Campbell County. They were doing a lot with a little. I'm from Campbell County, so I knew them before I even went to Grace. So super
That's
excited
awesome.
for them. Webb's a great school. They got Shavar Young, current Clemson commit. Hanging 63 and you still got 7 minutes left in the fourth is big. Not to get sidetracked, but
I
fired
got
up
you.
for the boys.
I found another one though, Michael.
So
Hawaii.
Skylar, I actually this will make you feel better. I was actually mistaking Marshall for Western Kentucky. So Marshall and MTSU actually have a very, very even matchup overall. MTSU has won 5 games compared to 6 losses to Marshall, but Western has a huge streak over MTSU right now. So that was my fault on that.
No, you're good. I could be completely wrong. I just think MTSU being at home and the spread being that close, like just go ahead and give it to MTSU. I mean, come on. So, but all right. Anything else?
Jake, do we have winners this week?
I'm going to tell you that every week.
Because let me just say, I didn't put my picks out there, but I went 5-0 last week on my picks.
I just want you to know,
if
I couldn't take my wife out to dinner tonight because
if we have another losing week next week,
last time. So.
Yeah, if we have another losing week next week, then we might have to swap who's actually making the picks here.
Whoa!
You could call it faking with Jake.
That's true.
Fake it till you make it,
or fading. I mean, just fade my picks. See what happens. No, I think we got winners here this week, guys. Again, the more and more ball that I can watch, the better I feel. So
here's the thing I like about the picks this week. There's only one big spread, and that's for the boys. So
informed,
and they're gonna cover it. That should have been your first pick. That's got to be the most confident.
Do you want to
pick.
start doing these order of confidence? Is that what
I thought that's what you were doing. I thought that's
That's what I
what you were doing.
That's what I thought.
You literally say every week, you're like, this first one I'm the most confident in. So this is I thought the whole time we've been doing.
Out of all of my picks, I'm most confident in Florida at Miami. That one's well, and that's why
Jack,
the line
clip it.
shifts.
Jack,
Yeah,
clip it.
clip
Florida beats them. There's no chat.
I go 4-1, but my gosh.
Chat, clip that, and then also chat, like clip up where I said Florida was going to beat Miami. So just clip it. It's fine.
Got the content going out, man.
Yep,
So,
clip it.
now,
That
Jack,
way, next week when Miami beats them by like 27, it's me that looks bad. I'm okay with that.
No, Jack, we appreciate you coming on again. Looking forward to a winning week this week, and then looking forward to having you on next week so we can keep making some more money.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, fellas.
Yes, sir. All right, Skylar, so you got anything else before we wrap this thing up this evening?
Man, football season's going by way too fast.
Yeah, we're already in week 4. That means that we're a third of the way through this season.
Yeah, man. It's going by really quick. Already, I don't know. I mean, technically we're already a quarter of the way through the season. But I tell you what, a lot of questions are being answered about the Vols. Love what I'm seeing out of them. The heartbreaking loss last week because truthfully, you had it won about 4 different times in the fourth quarter. But we got to learn to finish the ball game, and that's something we didn't do, and it's a great learning moment from this team. I think they have the belief that they can go out there and beat anybody now, and as long as they take that and use it the right ways, it's us versus us. The other team's just there. We got to beat them, of course, but we got to beat we got to get past ourselves and go play some ball. I mean, I think these guys are in a great position. I think now they see it firsthand that they compete with anybody. They can compete with anybody. And because I think even in the locker room, no matter how much you say you believe in your guys, I think maybe there is a little bit of doubt just because of all the new faces. But those questions got answered. I think the Vols are right where we could really ask them, to be at this moment. And like you said, got to go take care of business. But we could get to the bye week, 4-1, 5-1. I think 4-1. But we can get to the bye week after Mississippi State.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. And I do want to close with, if you do still have, for any reason, any doubts about Joey Aguilar, I just want you to take this right here from Star Thomas. So he was asked about Joey Aguilar, about his performance in the Georgia game, and he just said that Aguilar the entire time stayed calm, made sure that his teammates were calm in the huddle as well. And it just made them want to play hard, not just for themselves, but for him, for the team, all that. So Joey looked like a seasoned vet out there. And the way that he played showed it. So if there is any sort of doubts out there, I don't know what game you're watching, who you're watching at this point, because Joey is that guy. I'm just going to flat out tell you. And as long as he stays healthy, I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman Trophy, but he should absolutely 100% be in New York at the end of the season.
Right on. It looks like that. Did we already talk about that? But it is official. The 3 permanent rivals right now, the SEC opponents, is Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky.
When did that come out?
No, lad. Y'all just got snagged.
you saw Richard G. West, didn't you?
Yeah, I read it. Hey, Reddit. I clicked on it and read it. No. The link was not posted by Richard G. West, but when I clicked on the link, it showed up his profile, and I was like, "Wait a minute, that's not."
Trust me, guys, this is going on our clips later.
Whatever.
RGW strikes again, man.
I didn't. No. Once I seen it was him, I knew better. That's not fair. Somebody else posted it. That ain't no. Look, y'all can say what y'all want. That is going to be our 3 permanent right. I mean, I'm almost 1,000% positive. It's fine. I'm done.
I can guarantee it's going to be Alabama and Vanderbilt. The third.
That's what I get for scrolling.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's right. Now, appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Looking forward to another great week of college football. Go Big Orange, everybody.
Go Florida.